October 24th, and now 1 or 2 p.m. And I hereby call the PopTech Subcommittee meeting to order. Let's do our introduction, and I will go by that. And the first, Mirella. Mirella, are you there? I'm not sure, just the image as a mic issue. Maybe I can just go over again.
Her mic is not showing. I don't know if she does not have a microphone. It
Okay.
looks like to me it's
Okay,
not showing.
and Jim?
Yes, Jim. Yeah, this is Jim Chen from the Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity. I'm the state demographer. Thank you.
Thank you. And Martin?
Hello, I am new to this meeting. I am from Pima Community College.
Hey,
Star.
thank you.
Thank you.
And Anthony?
Yes, I apologize for the delay. I was having some technical difficulties. Anthony Batchelder, Pima County Finance Tax Assembly Group.
Dean? Dean Trammell?
Dean Trammell, City of Tucson Water Department, Planning and Engineering.
Camilla?
Hi, I'm Pamela Keene, TUSD's new planning analyst.
Thank you. And Dylan?
Hi, Dylan Perry, Senior Planner at Town of Sahuarita.
And Elisa?
Hi, Lisa Hamblin, Zoning Administrator in Planning and Development Services at the City of Tucson.
Yeah, thank you. And George Hammond?
Hi, I'm George Hammond with the University of Arizona.
Thank you. And Josue?
Hey, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Josue here, City of South Tucson Planner.
And thank you for joining. Steve?
Hi.
Cheslock.
Yep, Steve Cheslock, Town of Marana, Planning Manager.
Thank you. And Tara?
I'm Tara Solomon with the State Demographer's Office.
Yeah, thank you. And Tracy?
I am Tracy Gutheim with Pima County Development Services.
Yeah, thank you so much. And let me check now just the pack. Team members in the Caroline. Caroline?
She may be muted up. I noticed that
okay.
Yeah,
we were muted without by the host.
Oh, I see. Because I didn't mute by myself. It's Caroline Young from PAC. I'm the Senior Research Analyst.
Yeah, and Eric?
Eric Kramer, Pima Association of Governments.
And Hannah?
Hi, Hannah Oden, Planning Coordinator at PAG.
Jeanette?
Hi, Jeanette D. Ryan, Transportation Planning Director here at PAG.
And Xiao?
Xiao Li, Senior Modeler here from PAG.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Is there anyone I missed? And would you let me know?
I think we just still have look at it.
Mirella?
Yeah.
You still have a problem? I think you are muted. Would you try that, Mirella? Okay, yeah, maybe just you can type, and then later if you have any questions, or just maybe, I don't know, Krista, and would you help her? And if she's actually have any just issue.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, great.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is Mirella Hramatka with Pima County Wastewater Capacity Planning.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mirella.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and looks like just that we have introduced in just second agenda item, in-kind reporting. Regional planning efforts are enhanced by recording time donated by attendees, volunteers, and the participants. The PAC collects data on the time dedicated to meetings and activities to apply for use as matching funds for grants and the federal dollars. If you are paid with the federal dollars, please let us know now. Time spent in preparation for this meeting will be estimated by PAC staff who are knowledgeable of the agenda and the meeting materials. And the conclusion of this meeting, the session report will automatically calculate your time spent in this meeting. Time spent working on PAC RTA initiatives, programs, and special projects may also be eligible for consideration for matching funds. Next, agenda item 3, 2055 RMAP update. And next. So, and hello again. And my name is Hyun-Soo, modeling administrator. And if you are new here today, and we brought the 3 items, and this is one of them. And the 2055, just the RMAP update. The whole just the RMAP and the PAC's long-range transportation plan is actually led by Jeanette and Hannah. And so further details and we can just discuss. But here is mainly for just the modeling side and discussion in terms of delivering and those materials. The later just the outputs from the model and to PopTech and members and interested parties. So, and here's really just a brief and the RMAP timeline and 2023 Q4 and TPC and the Transportation Planning Committee hopefully just will and complete our just the RMAP and the project list by the time and end of this year, and hoping to just have those the area population estimates as soon and draft the version from the AOEO. And so the timeline, the December 15, 2023 is the deadline for just the AOEO to for its publication. So we hope to just discuss a little bit earlier and about those and the draft numbers and including just our just the building permit and the data update today. And plus just the additional and the consideration and about this methodology and any kind of just the inputs and the outputs. So if there's any and the questions and we'd like to just share and earlier and as hoping having another meeting and around like just the early December or yeah, so for the timeline just matching to that and the December 15th. And plus just the develop and discuss in the employment data updates and base and forecast the projections. So one of the items and today and especially just Eric will present about our just the first employment database updates and for 2021 and 2022. And also we've been collecting and discussing about the jurisdictions and land use data and the known project and the other inputs for PAC's land use model, which is mainly for just the modeling and the exercise in just 2024, Q1 and Q2.
Oh, if I could
yeah,
just
go ahead.
say something. So thank you to everyone who's been helping us with the meetings. So it's been a number of weeks since we initially asked for the data. So any known projects or other inputs that would be helpful for the RMAP 2022-2055 update. Any additional you could send updates to us as soon as possible. That would be much appreciated. That would help us a lot in the next couple of weeks when we are finalizing these updates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eric. For 2024 Q1 and Q2, and we hope to just model based on those and the inputs and the collected the RMAP scenarios and with those in the PAC land use model And the first time we consider just using and the activity-based model, and additionally in the air quality model for EPA's the air quality model moves here, and also just wants to and the review together with the PopTech members about the RMAP and the scenario population and employment allocation based on the TAG and more, or just hopefully and much just a higher resolution MAG micro analysis, John. And so that's the overall, like just the RMAP and the modeling just timeline. And then next, land use, as just Eric mentioned, and we've been discussing about just our just data and the collection and with jurisdictional partners, and the wishes and the overview of a PAC's land use model, travel demand models through the one-on-one meeting, and also requesting land use data specified here, and also discuss. We have a plan to discuss and with our just development restrictions, especially for water service boundary soon. And also we discussed and in August PopTech meeting and how we use those in the collected data, and in terms of just using our just the land use model density table updates, you can find out any in the methodology of those in the density table updates. And Eric, I wonder if you have anything additional on top of this.
No, just that anything that could provide shortly, that would be much appreciated. That's all I have to say. But thank you to everyone who has submitted so far.
Okay, great, thank you. And I think that's all I have. And if you have any comments or question, or just maybe and regarding just the RMAP items, either Jeanette or just Hannah, if you have any comments and regarding the RMAP timeline or just any RMAP in the update.
I don't have anything to add right now, Hansu, but if anybody has questions about the timeline, feel free to reach out to either Hannah or myself.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Jeanette. So if we don't have, and let's just move on to our next agenda item. The fiscal year 2022-2023 building permit update, and Caroline will present.
I tried, okay. I'm trying to get my, it is too, okay, we'll just make sure that my cursor works. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the PopTech meeting. Here today, I'm presenting the residential building permit summary for fiscal years 2023, which is for all the records from July 2022 to June 2023. And let me show you what I briefly will talk. Just give you a very brief introduction, and then we'll show you what the numbers of the building permit records for each jurisdiction. And then I did a very simple analysis for the construction days and completion days. For those who have been participating PopTech, and you know that usually this is a very routine project. We call that permit records from jurisdiction every year, and for several different reasons. One of the reasons, the major reason, is to get all the permit numbers and give to AOEO so that they can use the numbers, permit number, for the population estimate, which is July 1st. And besides AOEO do the population estimate, they also use our numbers submit to Census Bureau. And Census Bureau also have their own population estimate program to generate another set of population estimates. So the number will be also come from AOEO, which is the original will come from PAC. But since they have a different methodology, so the numbers come out probably slightly different but the data source, it will be, generally speaking, it is the same. So beside AOU, we use the numbers on PET ourselves. We also get those building permit number to work on different projects such as TIP or RMAP or multiple different projects. And once in a while, we will also get the public requests. The public will want to get the numbers from us, get the summary from us to do their own project. I have trouble with my mouse. Okay, so the data collection, usually we collect from July 1st of previous years to June 30 of this year. And PET would prefer, hopefully, we can get the numbers, get the report monthly. That is our preference, if possible. And AOEO will request costs, which is PET is one of the costs, to submit the data every half year, which is July to December is the first round, and then January to June will be the second round. Usually, we would like to get the numbers with our completion numbers and the demolition number in the report. But in case we cannot get the completion numbers, we will still take the issue number. That means if the permit is not complete, but it's been issued in that period of time, we will still take it if the completion number is not available. So AOU will consolidate all the numbers, all the reports from all the jurisdictions. They will produce the sub-county population estimate, which is, they call it a housing unit method because it is using the residential housing unit permit to generate an estimate. And as what Hinshu always said, that the deadline for the population estimate is December 15. For those who have got used to our routine process, you know that we get the permit. We try to get individual records. That is the initial date, the completion date, and the type of house, the housing type, and the address, so that we can put the coordinate. We will do the use the GIS work to pinpoint each permit location. So that's why the address is important to get the coordinate. And then we need to know the type of the house. And usually we do the coding for each type, because different housing unit type, they will have a different time, different construction time. Now, like single family, we call it 101. We want to know that this house is the 101. And it will take shorter time to complete. But if it is an apartment complex, like 105, it's an apartment complex that will take longer time, maybe usually take more than a year to finish. So you can see that 101 is the detached, that means individual housing unit. 102 is attached, means they share the wall, like the row house or townhouses. They have two units, they will share the wall side by side together. And 103 is duplex, and then 900, usually call it 900 as the mobile home. For the demolition, it's a 600 level. 645 is single family, 646 it is a duplex like that. 648 is the multifamily complex. So each building type will have the coding to identify what kind of housing unit they have. Now let's look at the summary for 2023 fiscal year building permit. Right now, we are still working on with the jurisdiction for January to June 2023. We still not finalized. We need to have some fine tune, so the numbers will slightly possible is not finalized, but I'll give you the preliminary number this moment. So among all the jurisdictions, we have 4,784 housing units completed and then 64 demolished. So the net increase of the housing unit inventory is 4,720 among all the jurisdictions. Compared to previous fiscal year 2022, looks like we have slightly about 100 housing units less than previous year, and looks like majority of housing unit is come from Pima County and also from Tucson, which is the looks like it is the apartment campus. They finally finished last 12 months, which is the permit actually issued maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and finally finished last 12 months. And you can see Marana also have a large building permit issue and completed within the last 12 months. I look at individual jurisdiction, and Marana have a lot of single family units with slightly some apartment I mean that is 105 apartment campus. And looks like the full year 12 months is pretty even. It's not particular, each month have a particular finish. That means they have quite constantly finished approximately around similar number of housing unit finish of single family housing unit. And with probably the springtime or the September and June seems like get the most, but averagely you still can get about 18-90 housing unit finished every month. And already does not have a lot of building permit finish. Is mainly because of the physical situation that we don't really have a lot of land available for development. It's almost built out, so that's why they did not have a lot of permit issue and did not have a lot of completed. So that's why it can come up with only about 100 housing units finished last 12 months. And look at Sholita, actually, we looks like the last several months from March, June, it really picked up a lot of new houses finished, and majority of the housing units was finished the second half of the fiscal year. And look at the Tucson, they do have a lot of housing units, but either the apartments, you see, they finished last 12 months, mainly pick up a lot of new housing units from the apartments from last year, September, or lately last several months. And this is Pima County, which is the majority of new houses still come from the Pima County. And the majority of the houses, they are in single family unit with very few of the mobile home, which 900, quoted as 900. And you can see, seems like in the winter time, they pick up a lot of finish with the late December, get a 200 new houses built. And I look at what I did is also look at how long it takes for them to finish the house. I mainly look at the single family housing unit, and in fiscal year 2023, from July to June, July 2020 to June 2023, it seems like every one of them, all the jurisdiction, it takes over a year to finish, or close to a year to finish one house. Compared to previous fiscal year in 2022, seems like it takes longer time to finish. And so you see this column, the delay compared to previous year is significant. It is take 3 years or half year, longer time than the previous fiscal year. And the duplex is mainly from Pima County, have 381 days, that means more than a year to finish one duplex. I'm looking at individual jurisdiction like Marana, the purple line, it is fiscal year 2021, which means July 21 to June 2022. And the orange line is July 2022 to June 2020, July 2021 to June 2022. And then the green line, it is July 2022 to June 2023. And this is the table to see how much they finish within how many months. And looks like for Marana, majority of houses will take 13 to 15 months to finish for more majority of houses. Or if you get close to 92%, it takes 16 months to finish the houses. And this majority is here in the middle one, 10 to 12 months, which in order to almost finish, it take more than 1.5 years. And you can see it takes longer time to finish the houses among these 3 years. And it takes longer and longer time. It could be for the supply chain in some of the articles and from some of the research. And actually, like Harvard Business Review or supply chain research, they always say that actually it's been constantly last several years have a supply chain problem, and this is possible cause the delay of to build a house. And already the same situation that the green line or orange line and purple line, and you can see it is slower and slower among these 3 years. And it will take majority houses will take almost a year to finish within the middle one. And it take almost like this one take 2 years to finish all the houses. And then Sharita and also take more than 1 year, take a year and a quarter to finish most of the houses right here in the middle. And the same, look at these 3 lines, you can see that compare the rate that how fast they finish is also slower than before. The Pima County one is the same situation among our other jurisdiction. It is slower, and most of the houses will be finished about a year, 10 months to 12 months. That is the most of the houses will be finished within 1 year, and majority it takes more than 2 years to finish all the houses. So you can see all the jurisdictions have the situation that we take longer time to finish the houses. This is a finish of my presentation. And if you have questions, please ask. And also, I really encourage all the jurisdictions to review my report, because I sent you guys my summary and also my questions, and I'm waiting for you to give me the feedback of my question or to verify the numbers that I asked. So will you please all the jurisdiction that reply my email and or review my report or review my summary or review my questions. So that is my request.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Do you have any questions, the committee?
Yeah, Hunsu, this is George Hammond. I have a quick question for Caroline. Just out of curiosity, Caroline, do you have information on the size of the home that is permitted in terms of the square footage?
Yeah, actually, some of the reports, I do have the square footage. Not all the every single jurisdiction will give me the attribute square foot. Some of the reports I will have the column that have the attribute, the square footage attribute, but not all of them. So I can come up with some reports that have to show the footage, but I cannot get all the jurisdictions have the same attribute.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if maybe the mix of homes being built has changed. over the past couple of years, maybe building bigger houses now than a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'm curious as to whether it, seems like it would take longer to build a bigger house, and if the mix is changing, that might tell you something. But anyway, just curious. Thanks, Caroline.
Yeah, actually, it could be another analysis. Is good suggestion that I look into the footage, the correlation between the size of the house and the completion rate, and it could be happen too. But since I realized that some of the building permit actually they're building a guest house or extra house at the backyard for just addition. That it seems like it come to me that it's common that beside the main house they will have an add-on. They will get a new house, a guest house, a smaller guest house at the backyard for whatever purpose, whether for guests, for mother-in-law, or for rent it out, for Airbnb. There are possibilities, but
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, yeah. Thank you. And do you have any questions? Go ahead.
I just had a quick
Trish.
comment. So, one of the things that we've seen over the last year or so, meeting with Saba, especially, is that the contracts it's not that the house is taking longer to build, it's that they're getting the contract period before they start to build is longer. So there was quite this boom when people had extra money coming out of the pandemic and things, and before interest rates started to go out, that actually builders started to meter how many houses they would sell a month, because by the time they got to the point of building, they couldn't afford to build the house because of inflation at the price that they were writing the contract at the time. So a lot of it, I mean, certainly there's been a lot of delays and shortages that have taken longer, but also it used to be you would sign a contract for the house and they might break ground within a month, but now they may not break ground for 6 or 8 months. So the house may not be taking longer. The house, probably with interest rates going up, we are seeing a lot of builders come in and revising for a different model that's smaller, because people can't afford to build the same house they signed a contract for now. They simply can't afford it with the new interest rates. So those are the kinds of things that are really playing into this.
So
Okay.
Tracy, that means you can also they revised their plan. So that means they submit the floor plan. They want to build 2,000 square feet house. When they submit, when they apply the building permit, and it is a 2,000 square feet floor plan. And then later on, they have to resubmit the new floor plan that which only 1,500 square feet, because they want to cut down the building material, everything, to just shrink the house. So that means you see they have resubmit the floor plan a lot.
Yeah, we do see people coming in where they've taken off a garage or they've, scaled things back. But we also see builders coming in and switching the models. So the majority of new homes are off of model plans. So they're in the subdivisions, and they'll come in and choose a smaller model.
Oh, I see. They chose a smaller model. But do you have all those non-model house, customized house, and they still change the floor plan? Right?
Well, it may be sometimes the permit is issued and they come in and they withdraw it and they'll put in a whole new permit. Sometimes they'll come in, depending on the timing, and we will swap out the model. We'll just modify everything on the permit to fit the new model plan. But those are kind of the dynamics that we see, and I would assume the other jurisdictions are seeing the same.
Is there any other jurisdictions and having similar issues?
Yeah, Elisa, yeah, do you see something similar like that? Like Elisa or Steve in Marana, is this something like that? Because I see a lot from Tucson, I see a lot of guest houses. The
Well,
addiction,
they have their
addition.
ADU ordinance, so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
those are additional dwelling units.
Mm-hmm. It seems like you have a lot of
Um,
ADU.
I'm not personally aware of that, but doesn't mean it's not happening in Tucson. I expect if it's happening in subdivisions in Pima County, it's probably happening in our subdivisions too, but you know, we have such different housing stock that's being built sometimes, so it's probably not as prevalent maybe as it is other places. I could look into it. I don't know the answer.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think this is a really good discussion, and I hope just it answers in the question from George, and also just the reason behind why we have some just a delay here. Okay, thank you so much for the discussion. And moving on, and item number 5, employment data update. And Eric.
All right. Shall I take control of the screen here?
Yeah, you can see on the bottom left, and you can
Bottom
click
left.
the
Okay.
arrow
All
on the
right.
bottom. Yep.
So I'm going to give an overview of the results from our for both 2021 and 2022 employment in regionally. Okay. So we've been working on this quite intensively lately, and we've had a number of updates since 2020. Our travel reduction plan data is new and improved. This year, we've seen expansion of the database, and the collection of the database is also improved. For example, especially with companies that have multiple locations. That's usually previously it was aggregated to one location. Now we have site-specific locations for these multiple employers, and we're the TRP collection process is still working on that, making adjustments and trying to acquire new employers as well. So that's been a welcome improvement. We've been collecting data from our surveys of educational institutions, both this year and previous years, and also for local government employees and state employment. And the bulk of the work has concerned the commercial business listings, which are famously need a lot of work to clean up. And but we've been working on the 2021 Dun & Bradstreet data, kind of a snapshot, and also the 2022 data. And this is typically involves cleaning the data, standardizing the names and addresses, deduplicating the data, and also verification that the establishments actually exist to the best of our ability through automated processes, and the API of Google Places API is one of the methods that we use. In addition, we have been once we've wrapped up that preliminary cleanup and the draft numbers that we're seeing, we do a sampling review of the data, and that we did that also for both years. I'll get into that briefly, the results of that, just to assure that we have the quality and that we would expect after that intensive process. And then finally, we will look at sort of a general trends in employment and compare incoming with the base data to see if there's extreme changes that might be warrant revision or further scrutiny. and the same with NAICS, or the industry classification codes. So basically, we're starting from our 2020 base data, and we are adding, or we're matching the incoming data to that, and any additional new employers that are arriving, and things that have closed and that such. So get to the sampling review. This is the result of the 2021 data. We do a 5% random sample of our non-administrative records. Those are the administrative records are those sampling the survey records from educational institutions, government employers, and things of that sort. So we're looking at the business data from Dun & Bradstreet for the most part. So we had 5 reviewers for each year, and each was taking about 200. It took 200 data records to review, using all the resources that we could through the internet, just Googling, if not, and also if we needed to call up the business to check, that was also a possibility. So overall, we make a distinction between, again, when we're evaluating, it's something that's true, that we're really quite certain, and then what would be fairly uncertain. We're not going to say it's not true or false, but we'll use the term uncertain just because we don't have the most certainty to say that it would be true. So in that case, we do the same for NAICS and the employment size. The employment is a little harder to ascertain sometimes. You can go on websites and count staff if that's available, but for the most, there may be a little bit of bias towards true with employment size, just because of it's harder to gauge in most cases. But we're comparing with what we have, and what is a typical size for certain business and certain type of business. So in terms of the 2021 data, we have 91.4% of sampled validity for those. For the NAICS, it's 93%. And then for the employment size, about 98%. I'm going to move on to the next year, 2022. Again, similar sampling methodology, and for the existence, we show about, again, 92%. NAICS is about 91.5, and employment size is 96.3%, which would be valid. And these are fairly good numbers in our understanding, and in the past as well. All right. So here are the draft employment numbers. Again, I say draft because we're still in the process of evaluating this. There are incoming things that we need to look at as well from the news feed that need to be incorporated. But these are the best that we have right now. But we're hoping to wrap this up very shortly here. But we on the left side, you see the 2020 employment, which is what we finalized, and by our 6 employment sectors: industrial, retail, wholesale, which is would be similar to, in some ways, to industrial, fire, which is finance, insurance, real estate, service, which is a broad category, which includes education, healthcare, restaurants, anything that has a service component to it, and then the public service, or the governmental sector. So for 2021, for the industrial, I'm just going to talk about the sort of the things that stand out here in this, which, starting with industrial, we see continued growth, pretty strong growth in industrial, about adding 33,000 jobs a year since 2020. Overall, about 500 establishments added as well. Retail seems to be struggling a little bit. The total number of jobs has dropped. It gained a post-pandemic, but it dropped recently. Although locations increased. Perhaps again, this is kind of continuing some of the trends in that we noted and that have been noted nationally following the pandemic, or the growth in entrepreneurship and small businesses that might account for some of the increase in the locations and in the establishments, and just the loss of retail is also continuing that trend of the retail apocalypse that has been since the end of the last decade, let's say, started. Service has, as you can see, is rebounded a lot since the pandemic, and has had a modest increase. Public service, you will notice that the number of locations has dropped. There's also a drop in the number of jobs. The service, the locations, the reason that has dropped is we have a change in the reporting from the city of Tucson, which they have a new HR computerized database, and they're now, instead of reporting 249 locations, it's dropped to 21. So they're sort of consolidating the way that they report their employment. That would account for that drop. And the other thing that's happened, again, you can see the numbers numerically here. There was a drop in the public service of almost 2,200, and that's pretty much due to the reporting from Davis Monthan Air Force Base. The number of contractors and Guard and Reserve employees has dropped from 2298 to 461. I can't say if it's a loss of jobs or just the reporting has changed, but that's what we received from Davis Monthan Air Force Base. And civilian employment has also, Department of Defense employment has decreased about 1,000. And active duty military, perhaps around 400 or so. So those are the things that are probably contributing the most to the loss of the public sector jobs in 2022. Okay, so overall, we've seen a fair amount of growth following 2020, but it's sort of leveled off and quieted down in 2022 to about 1.6%, although the number of establishments has increased. And that's all I have. We're going to be continuing to update our database to supplement this draft based on the news feed that we've been collecting from over time, and we will be doing additional checks and adjustments. At the next PopTech, I expect we'll show you some additional analysis, particularly comparisons with BLS data, perhaps in the NAICS industry sectors, as well as we'll have employment projections to show you as well. So that's it. Are there any questions or comments?
Yeah, hi, Erica. George Hammond here. It's just when I look at what's going on in your count of service jobs and kind of thinking about how that matches up with the data coming out of BLS on non-farm payroll employment or even the QCW data. I think what I'm seeing in the non-farm payroll data and the QCW data looks a lot weaker in terms of that growth from 2020. I'm wondering if you guys are kind of looking at that, and if you are, maybe if you have some ideas on what's accounting for that difference, if there is a difference. I mean, I'm looking at the monthly data and not the averages. So
right. I mean, our data is also very. It's a snapshot, and I don't remember offhand what month of 2021 it's from. Might have been September or so, but it might have accumulated or something,
Yeah, what pops out at me in the non-farm payroll data is that professional and business services is still way below where it was before the pandemic started, and now in the latest data, it's now well below for private education and health services.
Right.
Which, seems weird. And I'm wondering what, I've been thinking and talking to people about whether or not working from home is driving some of that, with the call center sectors. That's kind of something that people have said to me a couple of times. They think that those call center jobs were transformed into work from home jobs, and somehow the establishment got moved to somewhere out of state, maybe, or, I don't know where, but.
And the QCW doesn't report work from home.
Well, it depends on where the establishment is. If the establishment's out of state, if when they translated the jobs to work from home, there's still an establishment somewhere that accounts for those people and pays them, but it might not be in Pima County anymore.
Right.
It's possible, right? But
yeah,
anyway, there's some weird stuff that at least I see in the non-farm payroll data. I was wondering if you guys it looks like you're seeing different trends using.
Well, again, it's pretty aggregate, but we can certainly follow up on this. And when we do the comparisons, the NAICS comparisons, we can go take a finer perspective on that and see what's weird. And then maybe we can think about, explanations or.
Okay. Yeah. Just be curious what you guys see in those two sectors, primarily professional business services and.
I would have to dig a little deeper, but I don't really have any thoughts immediately off the top of my head, but.
But I think just I agree with you, George, and about those and the call centers, and there are some just the major big and one or two actually just the full 100% that are working from home. So the no business actually just the locations not exist anymore. So that might be one of the reason I thought that, and especially for those in the sectors and the professional. And plus just the same like a discussion last year we did is using just a QCEW, and that's the and the next one, and Eric is going to kind of just compare those two, but we will kind of just review additionally about your just questions.
Right, and we're getting data from, for example, some of the big call centers in the TRP data. Even though they are work from home, we still get that employment, that total employment. So that may be one issue there.
Yeah, that would be, those people are still here working, presumably.
Right.
We want to account for them somehow.
Right.
But
and
we're kind of shift out of the radar screen for the QCW and payroll.
But and the TRP data also is giving us results from the survey of work from home. So we have that additional information that we can also use in the travel demand model. So to see how, based on how many folks are working 1, 2, 3 days at, in on-site versus those who are full-time at home, or things of that sort that we can we can make that kind of distinction now with the TRP data. Hopefully that will improve as well, because it's always improving now. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I think the non-farm payroll data and QCW data is kind of undercounting the number of quote jobs that we're seeing in the local economy. So yeah, I'd be very interested to see what you come up with.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you, George. Any other questions to Eric? Nope. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think they're moving to next item. So I think if you, just in case, and regarding just the RMAP and the so same like just based on the timeline, and as also just a portion of the land use data update, we can reach out, and plus just the area population and the estimates, we can just reach out to you, and so for data and or just the updates and if needed. And I think just this is all we have. And thank you so much for your time. And now just 1:58, we adjourn in the PopTech October 24th meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.